What's up guys? For today's video, I'm going to show you the parts of the freshwater generator on board the ship. Freshwater generator is one of the machinery on board that used to convert seawater into fresh water. Here are the parts of the freshwater generator. Let's start with the ejector pump. Ejector pump is the pump that feeds driving water to the water ejector of the freshwater generator. And the water ejector maintains vacuum in the evaporator. The air and the brine line is connected to the ejector. Brine means a concentrated seawater remaining after evaporation of the water content. And the air is very self-explanatory. These two needs to discharge overboard to create vacuum inside of the freshwater generator. But before it discharge overboard, seawater flows first to the condenser for cooling purposes. Condenser is a heat exchanger that condenses vapor into distillate or fresh water. Condenser have horizontal tubes that third assistant engineer cleaned while at port or anchorage or depends to its condition. Also, there is a corrosion bar or zinc anode installed. And then, some part of the seawater goes to the feedwater preheater, a heat exchanger that further heats a portion of cooling water before it goes down as feeding in the evaporator or heater. Heater is a heat exchanger that heats feedwater to generate vapor, heated by main engine jacket cooling water in the temperature of 80 to 85 degrees Celsius. Heater have vertical tubes where the seawater flows inside while the jacket cooling water flows outside. And now, let's go to the inside of the evaporator. There is a side glass to allows the inside of the evaporator to be viewed. And inside, there is a deflector. Deflector is a plate that separates particles being transported together with the vapor generated. Then, the mesh separator or the demister surrounds it. It is a wire mesh that separates brine mist being transferred together with the vapor generated in the evaporator. And then, the fresh water produced or the distilled water flows to the level glass and suctioned by the distillate pump going to the freshwater tank or to the drinking water tank. But before that, it goes first to the salinity cell, a sensor for measuring the salinity of the generated distillate, which is connected to the salinity indicator. If the sensor detects high salinity, alarm sounded and the solenoid valve activate or open to return the high salinity distillate to the freshwater generator. And if it is in the normal range, it flows directly to the flow meter. Flow meter measured produced distilled water in cubic meter going to the tanks. Then, there is a chemical injection unit installed, attached to the pipeline of the feed water going to the heater, a unit for injecting a scale inhibitor that prevents seawater-derived scale from occurring on the inside wall of the piping of the heater. Let's go to the gauges and thermometer that found in the freshwater generator. The vacuum gauge, condenser inlet and outlet thermometer, heater jacket cooling water inlet and outlet thermometer, evaporator or the shell thermometer, pressure gauge for distillate pump, pressure gauge for feed water, and the level gauge for freshwater tank and drinking water tank. And then let's familiarize the valves. The inlet and outlet valves of the ejector pump, the inlet and outlet valves together with the bypass valves for jacket cooling water, outlet valves of the condenser, the overboard valve, the check valves in brine and air line, distillate pump outlet valve, valve going to the freshwater tank and drinking water tank, the changeover valves for freshwater and drinking water tank, the vacuum breaker, the vacuum adjusting valve, the feed water adjusting valve, and lastly, the relief valve. Relief valve is used to protect the inside components of the freshwater generator against possible damage. That's all guys, thank you for watching. And for the video on how to start freshwater generator, just search it on my previous videos. Like and subscribe.